Hello, my friends. Today I want to talk to you about the fine line walk of the Lightworker. As you can see, they're having me film it in black and white, right? Because you've got shadow and you've got light. So right now, there's a lot of things happening on the planet. And everybody is you see that? Everybody, yes, the ancestors are here. I called them in. So welcome, welcome, welcome everybody. Come on in and sit down. I feel like I'm like, come on in everybody. Let's sit down. Let's get cozy. Yes, you are welcome here. If you found this video, you are part of our family. And if you don't know me, my name is Lula. I go by Tallulah and I go by Lula because it's interesting. It means something different to different people, I've noticed. And so, yeah, so that's me. Who are you? Please feel free to introduce yourself below. You are welcome here. And let me just preface this by saying you are welcome here as long as you are here in a capacity of love, support, learning, teaching. But if you are here in shadow and you are thinking or feeling any negative thoughts towards anyone, myself or anyone, please don't be a part of this today. And I say that with love. Come back when you're feeling good. Come back when, you know, my throat chakra is a little tight, right? Because some of you know what I'm talking about. Recently, I did a test that I didn't realize was a test, but I'm speaking my truth now. But I found different light workers at different stages, and it was really profound. I just had I've been having a lot of aha moments and a lot of breakthroughs and breakdowns, because breakdowns are good because that helps us have breakthroughs. But I started introducing myself, and then if people ask what I do, or if it comes to the conversation of what I do, I tell them I'm a telepathic medium. And some people will go, ooh, cool. Or some people will go, oh. And right away I'll say, I cannot read your mind if you don't want me to, you know. I don't go into people's minds unless I'm pulled there. So with that being said, if you have a negative thought about me, or if you are wishing ill will against me, or if words like jealousy or envy come up when you're anywhere near me, I know that. And it's not, I feel like you know who you are. There's so many that it's, you know, I know what you're doing, and I don't care because it's your path and not mine. And what you think about me or what you say about me is really none of my fucking business. And it's taken me a long time to realize that. But the thing that I wanted to say is that I do not anymore want people coming to my channels or looking at my readings or whatever if they are not in a high vibration of love. Not just for me, but just for themselves and the planet. And I, you know, I know that sounds interesting, but I have been having a lot of these moments where I've wanted to give up certain things, or I'm like, it's time for me to stop this. It's time for me to stop that. By the way, you're probably going to see a lot of stuff on my clothes. I'm wearing dark clothes, and between my hair, Alder's hair, Baba's hair, our down stuff, you know, we live off grid. So anyway, I digress. But I feel like I digress for a reason, because I don't want this to become that. I just want people to understand that I love you anyway, but I'm really tired of fighting it. And you know, you're as powerful as I am. A lot of you who are doing it to me, you know, I don't know how to say it in any other way, but like, clean it up. If you've been watching my stuff recently, I met this really cool lady, this elder, this crone in my local co-op where we're staying now. And we just had this really cool conversation, spiritual conversation. And then I was telling her about my food or whatever, and she was just like, clean it up. It was just the way she said it and did it. I'm like, I will forever fucking remember that. And I feel like she knew that, right? And so that's why I feel like for you guys, you're a lot of you that are feeling this way, not just about me, but about other people and self-sabotaging, because you're actually self-sabotaging when you're doing that. And that's the fine line walk of the light worker. Is number one, we're not envious. It's not like part of who we are. That's a third dimensional thing. That's a competition thing. Also, this is a fucking game. I don't know what kind of game or whatever. I have some times and some days where I get really angry and I'll say to spirit, like, I'm not doing work, or I'm not, whatever. I'm like, this is mean. I feel like this is mean, to some people or some things like I'll see on the internet, and I'm just like, that's like awful. Or why did that animal have to endure that? I mean, I know children, of course, but it was just like, I don't really look at a lot of things, but, Baba, my familiar, she has her own channel, Baba the Great. And you can find a link on this channel. And then I have links to my other channel, The Magical Medium, as well, where I do free readings, which also pick a reading is on the way, or by this time it may have been posted. So follow the link and go check that out. I did a reading for the collective, and then I was pulled to do even more. It was about what we need to release in our past. And I feel like a lot of you guys, that's where you are. And, anyway, but on Baba's channel, she doesn't really subscribe to anybody but, me. and we support each other. But, like geo beats and things like that, and animal things will like pop up in like the feed. And it's like, I see these things, and the worst part is, a lot of these videos that I'm seeing, some of the people are actually inflicting the harm on the animals and then like playing the hero. And it's really fucked up and sick. There's so much darkness on the internet, you guys. Like, you really have to be discerning right now. You have to, like, especially if you're thinking bad thoughts about anybody, especially yourself. That's old stuff. And the picker reading and the reading that I did, it was the full moon in Sagittarius, and it was about release and letting things go. And the extended reading was the picker reading, which was, individualized. There was 5 separate readings of, they were all doors. It was from the past life deck. It's from the past life deck, and it's really cool. I mean, it's really cool. I'm actually really excited to put it out. They had me do it at night in a storm. It was really cool. Right after the full moon in Sagittarius. I think it was the day after. But I digress again. So yeah, I'm just feeling all these things, and I'm having a really tough time leaving the house. And I'm seeing rampantly a lot of light workers like myself are going through the same thing. And it's because I believe, I don't think I'm some rarity. People are like, oh, you're a telepathic medium. I mean, I'm like met all these people and gave them my information, and I was like, oh, let's do stuff together. Let's, blah, blah, blah. And like, we started planning things. And then, but it was interesting because like this one person, I felt their energy, that they didn't like that I was a telepathic medium. You know what I mean? And I think that, and I started to realize, like, people say they want to be your friend, but they don't really know what it means to be a true friend, especially to someone like me. And I met this one person, which I do hope I run into them again. I met this one person that that we just had this cool connection right away. And she said, just promise me something. Or I said, we don't have to hang out just because we got along. We don't have to like exchange information if you don't want to. I said, I was just letting you know I have my channel, because it's not that I don't want to have friends. It's just that I just started to realize early on, even before I knew exactly what I was, I just knew that people wanted to be my friend for false reasons, but I wanted to have friends. So, drink some water, Spirit said, drink some water, drink some water. Recently, a childhood friend had been coming up a lot, and all I could do was send them love and positive energy, and you know, I was like, you know, don't do what you know, like you have so much more. And it's like, I've been there, I've been to that place. And if you're in that place where you're feeling like suicidal, or you don't know which way to go or what to do, you know, it really is, the answers really do lie within yourself. My job on this planet that I know of in my 52 years of experience so far, human years, that I tend to go through things first, so that I have to take the medicine so that I can bring the medicine. And I've known this for a long time. I'm doing my best not to cry. We've been in really beautiful weather, and then we got hit with this rainstorm, and it's been going on and off for days, like where we've been stuck inside. And it's actually been really good for us, though. Like, we've been through so much, talking stuff out, and just a lot of cool things. Bubba's molting, so it's like, it's just a good time for everybody to kind of rest and, you know, kind of regain our strength, so to speak. But when I'm in these times, it's a time to reflect and release. And that's where we are. We're in the waning gibbous energy. I didn't know I was going to be channeling, but apparently I am. And the waning gibbous energy can feel really heavy. Also, they want to point out that Jupiter has been in Taurus for the last year, and it's now moved into Gemini. You know, I'm not an astrologer, but little pearls like that fall into my lap, and I always know that they're going to come up somewhere. And that's what I started to realize, you know. And Gemini can be a very, it's interesting, we're in Gemini season, and now Jupiter just went into Gemini. And your mission, should you choose to accept it, your homework is to research those energies, Sagittarius, Jupiter, and Gemini, and see where those energies may be reflecting in your life, especially the full moon in Sagittarius, because that's like, a lot of people feel like that's like one of the best full moons of the year, because Sagittarius, you know, are all about optimism and hope, and, you know, so you're like, yay, right? But then when you're at the end of it, it's like, it was the moon in Taurus. It's still the moon in Taurus, right? It was the new moon in Taurus. And then we switched to the Gemini energy. When we're having these transitions, it can be really daunting and heavy on light workers. And so they're saying to me that it feels like a natural reaction to try and blame someone else, or try and, you know, say, oh, this person or that job or that family member or that, you know, whatever it is, you know, woe-is me, like poor me, where, right? Like when you're in like the little, I'm crying, you know, in my soup song, you know, and you're feeling that, I need like a little backing or something. I'm in the wild hair don't care, because I'm washing my hair today. So I feel like you guys know where I'm going with this. I feel like you guys know where I'm going with this. A lot of you are in your shadow, you're in the dark night of the soul, and that's okay. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. But I guess I'm just saying, like, just be mindful of where you're putting your energy, you know. And if you are having any feelings of death for yourself or others, or just negative feelings about yourself or others, that's when you really need to go inward and go, okay, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? Who, why? You know what I mean? It does make a difference, because it has nothing to do with those people. It has everything to do with you or those situations. You know, you can hate your job, but you don't have to stay there. You're not a tree. You're not planted, right? Like, you don't have to fucking stay there. Even if you've been there for 15, 20 years, I don't give a shit. Leave your job. I don't care if you're like, I've been here for 20 years. I'm going to stay. Like, the thing that I remember someone said to me one time, because I had said something like, well, I've invested this much time and energy into this. I'm not just going to like give up now, or I'm not just going to walk away now, you know, because I was in the I will fix it mode. I can fix it. I can fix anything mode. And they're like, okay. Right? Like, sure. But is that really our job? No, because happiness is an inside job. We cannot rely on other people to make us happy, nor can we rely on other people to change our lives. You know, ever since I started this journey and went off of social media and came onto YouTube, which I just feel like YouTube is a little different than social media, just in my experience, but now it's turning into social media, but whatever, it's all the same. This is the platform that I was drawn to. So when I began this journey, it was literally because I wanted to be transparent with you guys. I wanted to tell you who I was, what I was going through, and that if you were going through something similar, that you weren't alone. I was plug and be who you are, and I still feel all of those things, and I'm still that cheerleader. However, you know, a lot of you are literally like in the same place I am, but the things that are happening are your personal choices. And like I said, this isn't some like bitch slap, like whatever. This is, it's like, I feel like I've been trying to do this as gently and calmly and lovingly as I can. But now it's getting to the point where I'm like, no, like, even if I love you or like whatever, like I need to keep my distance right now until you get through what you're going through. So, you know, it's individual. We're all going through separate things. You know, we're all at different levels of the video game. You know, I mean, let's be honest. Let's be really fucking honest. If you're a kid, because kids are honest, right? They're honest. They're not candy coating things yet. They weren't taught to like dumb themselves down to, you know, whatever. They're just honest. They're truthful. So if you've got, you know, Timmy over here and he has been playing this video game for a long period of time and he's on level, let's say 15. And you got Judy over here. I heard Judith over here. So maybe these names mean something to you guys because like they don't, not really to me, but anyway, right over here, she's at level 2. Then you got Stephanie over here. She's at level 15. Who do you think he's going to want to play with? And this isn't about dating or whatever. I don't know what this is about. I don't know why those names. It just came out. It's just a fucking comparison because this isn't about that. It's not. It's just so many diversions to get us to stop looking at the thing, you know, the focus of the thing that we need to look at, that we have to change, that we have to let go, that we have to release now. No more fucking talking about it. No more bullshit. Who do you think Timmy's going to want to play with? Now, if Timmy is kind of a sad, crushed soul, dark little boy, right? Because someone crushed his soul. Maybe he'd want to play with Judith because he can just keep kicking her ass and she'll keep trying. Or is he going to want to, you know, play with Stephanie and be like, no, dude, come on, let's do this. We're at the same level, man. Let's do this together. Let's do this together. Let's get through this level together. We'll learn from each other. You know what I mean? Or is Timmy the teacher for Judith? I don't know. What's your role? But the childhood trauma stuff is a lot of things that keep coming up. Not just for me, but for all of us. And it's everywhere. And there's so much fakery and fuckery out there. There's like so much. It's overwhelming that I literally can barely go online anymore. I have to keep changing my subscriptions. There's just been like so much. And I've done a lot of readings on the magical medium in the last, I don't know, 10 to 14 days, but it's interesting because it's kind of brought me back in, and I didn't realize taking all that time off really helped me to just focus on myself. And now that I've been back in there, it's like, I'm like, because when I'm doing especially the picker readings, you know, the group readings, like some people might come up or whatever, like people I know, or like a person I don't know, but then like I'll get a new subscriber and I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's them, you know? Or I'll get like this kind of anonymous feeling. Anyway, all of a sudden my whole thing just like stopped for a second because Spirit wants to speak. Hold on. So they're showing me the doorway of the picker reading, and that's what they're trying to say, is that when I was going through each doorway as a medium, that's what I'm doing. I'm going into these people's lives, you're allowing me in. And now the people have been doing readings for so long on YouTube and on other formats as well. Not everybody is a witch, and not everybody's a natural healer. Not everybody it's like not their calling, but they're doing it and they're making money off of it. They're like, they don't give a fuck. So the discernment is really important right now. And it's more than the picker reading, like what's behind each door. It's like Spirit's asking you, like, what's behind each door? And when you're doing that, especially the light workers, right? So you're going through these doors, these portals, TikTok, your friends, you know, Facebook or whatever. I don't know what's still going on out there. X, which was Twitter, right? Like all of these different things. People are just talking and talking and talking and putting shit out there and putting shit out there. Not everybody has something fucking wise to say, and not everybody has something valid and good for you, you know? So just really be mindful. Just really, really be mindful. The fact, you know what it is? This is how I'm starting to realize it. Because I feel like the real sensitives, like the true like sensitive empaths and like the mediums, the light workers, I feel like we have a different energy field. You know, everybody keeps, it's like another term that gets thrown around. Oh, I'm a light worker. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. But people will believe it because they got all the fucking bells and whistles. It's all shiny and pretty. You know, I just speak my fucking truth on here because I don't have fancy equipment. And I feel like if I was meant to have fancy equipment, I would have had it by now. You know, maybe I will eventually. I don't know. Maybe eventually I'll have people doing it for me because I really don't. It's not that I don't think people are worth it. I don't, you know, if anything, I'd want it just to make my fun little shorts so I can make my little act. I love acting. I love singing. I love music. I love like being silly. I like entertaining people. I've always loved being an entertainer, a muse, you know, a mage. I read something recently about that. I don't know if I'm a mage, but anyway, you know, but I'm definitely not here to be people's punching bag, you know? So the readings, you know, be mindful of those too, like what readings you're looking at, people's information that you're looking at. You know, there's just so much out there. With that being said, I don't know how much more they're going to have me do videos because I've been enjoying it. I have. It's interesting. It's like I love doing readings and I love doing these videos for you guys. Like I love doing these things and I feel it, like I feel the pull, whether like go talk about this right now or like I'll be talking to my husband about something and I'm like, we should just put the, you know, we should record this, you know, and then like I'll feel like I should talk about it with you guys like this. And so that's how this is happening. But yeah, I'm just seeing so much fakeness and so much like, and I'm it's like I knew it was coming. Like there's all these things, like I knew that this stuff was going to happen. I knew it was going to be there, but I guess I just thought things would be different. I don't know how to explain it. I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. And maybe eventually I will, but you know, I guess the best way to explain it is that I'm human here too. And I'm going through the same thing you guys are too. And that's what it is. It's right. Like Timmy, Judith, and Stephanie in that story, they all had choices. They all have choices. Maybe Judith will go play with Stephanie. You know what I mean? Like whatever. But right. But each one of them would probably have a role in that. You know, who's the teacher? Who's you know, the protagonist? You know, it's like everybody's playing a role and we all do it. Sometimes we're the villain. Sometimes we're the hero. It changes. And it changes all the time in our own story. You know, we've got the filler people, which I totally believe in that. I think that there are some people that are in your world and in your life. And, you know, it's like, and then there are other people who are just like, just here to be those characters in the story. Like, you need someone to not like. I mean, it's going rampant everywhere with showing the Hunger Games of the world right now. And it's so true. It's like, but that's what the internet is for too, right? Like, we have these tools to help us, and they're like, you can use these tools in any way you want to. You can use them to educate and teach and spread the word of like your own stuff. Maybe it'll help somebody else, or it's like, you know, but there are a lot of people out there that are doing it just for the money, and it's, you know, that's their free will. But karma is very real, right? And so is Kali Ma. So a lot of things, it's like these energies were created, you can say invented, but they were created and curated to be what they are. You know, I've been working tightly with Isis, you know, this last, I don't know how long now, but just all of these energies that I can feel that, you know, they want to be there. They're helping me to understand who I am and my path and what I'm meant to do here. And lately I've been like, I just don't feel as fulfilled with my medicine work as I have in the past. So I feel like it needs to shift and change, and I'm not sure what that means. Like, I love this little town that we're living in, and I'm like, yeah, I want to stay here. But it's like, there's this part of me, it's like, I don't know though. Am I just meant to be the wandering gypsy? And it's been, you know, me coming to terms with like who and what I am, but also manifesting and creating the life that I really want. But I also know as a light worker, I have a job to do here. And if you feel like you are a true light worker, then you have a job to do here. And you can't just keep staying in a certain place because it's comfortable, or you're like, oh, I'm waiting for this to happen, I'm waiting for that to happen. No, the whole point is you have to make a move so that it can fall into place. It's the same for me, but at the same time, some of us light workers, we get really ahead of ourselves. We want to control. That's a lot of third dimensional. It's just, and it's right now we're just breaking away from, we're not ever going to break away entirely from our past because it happened to us. We're not saying it didn't happen, shut it out of our mind, bye, bye, bye. No, it's like, it's about how we deal with it when it comes into our mind. Are we like a, you know, because that means we haven't dealt with it. Or are we like a, interesting, yeah, that was a good lesson. You know, you're going to have emotion around it or feelings around it. Or as an empath, you may have, you know, for me, what's been struggling for me is that I feel things so deeply and on such a high level. You know, like I can't watch violent movies. I feel like my arm is being ripped off, and it's not like that pain of it. It's like I get, all of a sudden I'm watching something and I'll feel a tingle, or I'm like, oh, you know, like someone gets stabbed, and I'm like, it's just bizarre. And I don't know other empaths like me, but whatever I am, you know, I'm a mixture of a lot of different things. I just introduced myself as a telepathic medium because I want to let people know that we're all telepathic, and we don't even need these kind of things to talk to each other. In fact, when I'm getting negative energy from someone, I just lovingly push back and say, I love you, you know. So if you're feeling anything dark or ominous towards me, it has nothing to do with me. Set me free, why don't you, baby? Just deal with your own shit, man. I just maybe happened to be part of something that you went through, and I was there. That's what I'm recognizing, is that no one's really a villain to me anymore. You know, like I feel like I villainized my sister for a long time too, and I started to realize like how much I really love my sister for all the things and the lessons that she gave me, you know, and my family in general. But I feel like I feel like if we were ever meant to talk again, it would be because we're at the same place where we can have that conversation together like this. I couldn't have this conversation with my old life or people from my past, whatever you want to call it. I don't believe I'd be able to have that conversation if we weren't at the same place. You know, it's not going to turn out in my little fantasy world of what I think it's going to be, right? Unless they have healed that as well and are like, yeah, dude, I love you. Like, you know, we can talk about stuff. Let's really talk about it, you know? And also recognizing what I am. You know, I think it's hard for my family to recognize what I am because they have to look at themselves and see that they're just as magical and powerful as I am. We all are. And, you know, I watched something recently where this character I love on this show, she said something so beautiful when everybody was going through a rough time. They were like, oh, but I'm not as good as this one. And she goes, we all have our own gifts. She said, we all have something to contribute. And it was the way she said it. It was so beautiful, and it was so wonderful. And that's what I realized. And so, you know, if you hear any angst or a little in me, that's my stuff I'm still working through too. That's my Southside Chicago Kelly, that she's always going to be there, but I don't always have to feed her, right? Like, which wolf are you feeding, the shadow or the light? And they're both there. It's just that, like, which one, you know? So I decided, I said to Spirit, I need something, like, I've been trying to go back to all these things that used to bring me joy and happiness, and no longer. They are no longer. And I literally don't, I don't know why, you know what I mean? I'm like, but they brought me so much joy. I don't understand, you know? And they're like, it's not forever, but like right now, that's not where your focus is. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, okay. And so I just was being patient and working on this, and then working on that, and being patient and working on this and working on that. And then, I got a little frustrated with Spirit recently, and I was like, I feel like you need to show me in like the next, like 48 hours, please, like just send me a sign. Because I feel with every bone in my body that I am meant to be a songwriter. I feel like I am meant to be a singer. And even if it's just to be a songwriter, or like someone who's just like a storyteller, you know, I don't think it's an accident that Taylor Swift and I have the same birthday. You know, maybe we are cut from the same cloth of some kind. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe we come from the same fucking angel realm. I don't know. But I've been singing, I've been practicing, I've been writing songs, I've been doing all these things. I haven't really been telling you guys about it, but in my private time, I've really been working on music. And I said, I don't feel at this time that you're sending me any clear sign of if I should focus on that, or if I should, I've just been feeling, I mean, honestly, since I was a kid, I have felt like that strongman doll where he's being pulled in like all different directions. And I remember people saying to me, you know, like the biggest thing that was always said about me was that I was a jack of all trades and master of none. And it became this thing. And I realized that my mom started putting these labels on me, and not just my mom, but like people, just because they loved me, and they wanted the world, I was so different. You know, I was born in 1971. And so even though I was born at the beginning of the age of Aquarius, you know, it was not, you know, anyway. But I realized that, yeah, I'm good at a lot of things. You know, and then my funny retort was, when I got tired of people saying certain things, I would come back with certain retorts that would like kind of make them cringe. So if my mom would say something like that, family party at her church, you know, well, maybe not her church. I don't think I've done that, but I do believe I did it once at a family party. And I know I've done it when we were at a grocery store once. But it was like, it's like, she really wanted to save face for herself, because somehow it was reflecting on her, you know, as like a mother. And she knew that she wasn't really there, and she wasn't, you know, as present as she could have been as a mother. She was going through a lot herself. She got married very young, in her late teens, and had a baby. And you know what I mean? It was just a very different world for her. So when she got divorced, she was 36 years old. I mean, you know, that's really young. I'm 52, and I'm like, to me, 36 is like is a youngin'. You know what I mean? Like it is to me, because it was almost 20 years ago. But it's not even about the years. It's just that you're in your 30s. It's like every decade we are given all of these different lessons and choices. So anyway, when my mom would say something like that, I'd say, well, I'm good in bed too. Should I be a whore? Because it was a line from one of my favorite movies, Pretty in Pink, from her friend who owns a record shop, you know? And so it was like, because I was like, yeah, well, I'm good in bed too. So like, should I do that for a living? Like, I have friends that are sex workers. They make really good money. They love their job. You know what I mean? Like, I love sex. Maybe I should, you know? I was like, I don't know. But the one running thing through 52 years of my life, the one running thing has been literally music. And I'm like, if I am not meant to do that in this lifetime, then it must be something from the past, and help me heal it so I can move on. Put it out there. You know what showed up at my door? A free Yamaha keyboard from my neighbor 5 minutes away. Yep. I can't wait to play it, because we're on Alder's birthday eve. Tomorrow's his birthday, and these are his days. But yeah. So, you know, and then the way it came in, the way Spirit was like, go look on Craigslist right now. It was like right there. It'd only been up for an hour. I mean, all these things. Then I go to the house. It's like this magical witchy garden, like this cool artsy lady. Like I didn't meet her. I met her husband. But anyway, it was cool. You know, like I love knowing that that was in, like, I love knowing that that free Yamaha, and it works and it's awesome. And I can't wait to play with it. And I was like, just to know that that was in that beautiful, magical artist studio like that for this lady. You should have seen her gardens. I mean, she's a witch for sure, but I would never tell someone what they were. Anyway, you know, so that's my joy, and I'm going to be working on that, and I'm still going to do readings, of course. But, you know, if there's something that's gnawing at you and it just will not let you go, that is your purpose. I don't care if you're like, I like to knit, I like to crochet, then that's your fucking purpose. You can make animals, beanie babies, you can make purses, you can make clothes, you can do anything, you can make fucking pot holders. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, find your passion, find your purpose, and follow it. The most beautiful thing that Alder has ever said to me was recently he said, I feel like I know what's been missing. And I was like, what? And he's like, I need to be creative. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yes, because he's an artist and like, he's an amazing guitar player, and he had like hurt his hand and he's like, I can't play like I used to. I'm like, then find a different way to play. So it's like, you know, it's interesting. I said, well, maybe you need to play with the keyboard too. Maybe it's here to help, you know, whatever. So don't give up. Also, there's this cute little bird family. I'll see if I can get a video of it and I'll put it on my shorts. But there's the cutest little bird family with a cute couple with a baby bird. And they just came into here. So I feel like they're trying to show me, like, you know, you may not have had the childhood that you wanted. You may not have had the childhood that you deserved. But it's the childhood that you planned for yourself. Everything up to this moment, you planned for yourself. I'm in your life just like you're in mine. Thank you for teaching me, just as I am teaching you. We are here to help each other, love each other, and support each other. Through thick, through thin. You know, you're not alone. I am here for you. But when you're in shadow, you need to go inward or go somewhere else. But I don't want to push back. Especially from people I love so deeply. You know, it's like, clean up your own backyard. Clean it up, as she said, because I'm doing the same. You know, if you're thinking dark thoughts about me, I'm not thinking dark thoughts about you. A lot of times the things that come up for me, it's so bizarre. I'll be just doing something really joyful and it comes up. That's when, and I'm fighting it. I only have 20 more seconds. Every time it comes up, the darkness, you know what I do? I go, I love myself. I love this person. I love you. I love you. You know what I mean? We have to fight it. You need to fight it. It's a war, but it's an inner war. It's not the outer war. It's inside. So I'm going to get cut off. Do you hear what they're saying? I love you so much, and I know you love me. So take good care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you next time. Blessed be.